Hey guys, so in this video I would like to talk to you about rounding, and we're going to be rounding large numbers. So getting up into the thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, okay, large numbers. So rounding is a topic that is confusing sometimes, and I think the reason it can be confusing is because with all of our 4 and below, let it go. 5 and above, give it a shove. Magic trick kind of things. We don't really know why we're doing this. And so when you don't know why you're doing a thing, it's like it doesn't make sense. It's harder to remember. So I want to make sure we really get into the why. I want to make sure we know what we're doing with rounding. Why is this a thing we do? And the reason that we do rounding is to make mental math easier. Okay? So when I'm at the grocery store, or if I'm just thinking about my bank account and expenses that are coming in, I usually don't figure things exactly. I figure them with round numbers, numbers that are easy to deal with in my head. So for instance, let's just say that I've got an expense for $3,432. That's a pretty big expense, right? Okay, so in my head, I wouldn't deal with 3,432. What I would do is I would make this into a number that is easier to deal with. So this number, 3,432, it is somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000. Okay? It's in the middle, somewhere. It's not at either end, it's somewhere between. And when we round, we're asking ourselves, which side is it closest to? Okay? Is it over here? Is it over here? Well, let's talk about that. So in between these two numbers, these are both thousands, right? The jump I made here is 1,000. 3,000, 4,000, that's a 1,000 jump. Half of that, the middle, half of 1,000, is 500. Between 3,000 and 4,000 is 3,500. Okay? 3,500. If a number is exactly at 3,500 and we're rounding to the thousands like I've got set up here, then we would round it up. And that's where this 5 and above, give it above stuff comes from, okay? 4 and below, let it go. It's because, 4 would be closer to this end and 5 is halfway, and above that would go up. Okay, so 3,432, well, this is 3,500. 3,400 is going to be close to that, but a little bit less, right? 400 is less than 500. So, just guessing sort of, I would say that that number is right about there. So if I were to round this number to the nearest thousand, I would say, oh, it's closer to 3,000 and it's farther from 4,000, so I would round it down to 3,000. Okay, without a number line, the way we've learned to round probably looks something like this. If you're going to round this number to the thousands place, I like to find the thousands place, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, okay? And then the next number, the number that's behind it, is what I call the bossy number. The bossy number is the 4. 4 is a smaller number, okay? 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the smaller digits. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. They're the larger, greater digits. If you have a smaller bossy number, like I do here, then this number stays the same. The 4 tells the 3 to stay. Everything after the digit that I am rounding to, and I was rounding to the thousands, becomes a 0. Okay? Now, it's also important that we understand that you can round this number, 3,432. I could round it to a different place value. Okay, so I could round it to the hundreds. This is the hundreds place. It is between 3,400 And then if I went up 100, just like 32, 33, 34, what comes next? 35? 3,500. Okay? This number is somewhere between these two. So it helps to know what the middle is. I went from 3,400 to 3,500. There's a 100. The jump there is 100. This plus 100 gets you here. Half of that jump, half of 100, is 50. Okay, so 3,450 is the number that is exactly in the middle between 3,400 and 3,500. 3,450 is the middle. This is my number, 3,432. You know, I'm really only looking at 50 and 32. Okay? Is 32 less than 50, exactly the same, or more than 50? It's a little bit less, right? I'm going to guesstimate that it's right about there. 3,432 is less than half. So what I'm saying is it's closer to 3,400. It's closer to 3,400. It's farther away from 3,500. So if I was going to round this number to the nearest hundred, okay, last time I did thousands, so I found the thousands place. This time I'm doing hundreds. I find the hundreds place. There's the hundreds place, it's the 4. That means this time the 3 is bossy, okay? And 3 is a smaller number. It's a smaller digit. The bossy number does the talking. The smaller digits say stay. So it tells the 4 to stay. And then everything after the underlined digit becomes a 0. So if I was rounding that number to the nearest 100, this is the 100 that it is closest to. Okay? Let's use a different number. 2,821. Okay, I'm going to round this to the nearest thousands and the nearest hundreds, both. Two different things, two different problems, okay? So, if we start with the thousands, if someone said, round that number to the nearest thousands, here's what I'm thinking about, okay? I'm thinking, well, it's somewhere between 2,000. What's the next 1,000? 1, 2, 3, right? 3 comes after 2, 3,000. 2,821 is between 2,000 and 3,000, somewhere in the middle. Well, it helps to know what the middle is, because then you know what side of the middle you're on, okay? So from here to here, that's 1,000, right? From 2,000 to 3,000, that's 1,000. Half of 1,000 is 500, okay? Just like half of 10 is 5, half of 100 is 50, half of 1,000 is 500. So my middle is a 500, and it would be 2,500, okay? So now I need to think about, well, where does this go? I've got 2,821. Well, I think 800 is more than 500, so it would come after. It's going to be maybe there, 2,821, okay? And so if I'm looking at my number line, I can tell that 2,821 is much closer to 3,000. It's much farther away from 2,000. So that's the number line thinking. If I just did it the traditional way, right? I'm rounding to the thousands, find the thousands place. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. There's the thousands place. Okay, the next number is bossy. 8 is a large digit. It's a big number. It would say not stay, but go up 1. Okay, so the 8 tells the 2 to go up 1. 2 goes up 1, becomes a 3. 3, and these all become zeros. 3,000. 2,821 is much closer to 3,000 than it is to 2,000. Okay, now I can take that same number, 2,821, and I could round it to the hundreds place. Okay, so 2,821 is between two hundreds. Well, what two hundreds is it between? You always start with just where it is and then go up one. So it's at 2,800, right? What would be next? This 28, right? 26, 27, 28, 29. 2,900 would be next. Okay? It's between these two hundreds somewhere. It helps to know what the middle is so that you can figure out what side of it you're on. It's always a 5. The middle's always a 5. Okay? So, between these two hundreds, I know half of 100 is 50. Halfway between these 2 points is 2,850. Okay? Make sense? I know the middle. Now I need to know where I'm at. If 50 is the middle, I'm like comparing numbers, 2,850, this is a 20. 20 is less than 50. I would put 2,821 right about there. So am I closer to 2,800 or am I closer to 2,900? I'm much closer to 2,800, right? It's just right there. Okay, same problem, different way, different strategy. I'm rounding this number to the hundreds. Find the hundreds. Ones, tens, hundreds. Okay, the 8's there. The number behind it, before it, will always be the bossy number. Bossy number is a 2. Is that a little number or a big number? It's pretty small. 2 is a pretty small number. The small ones say stay. The 2 says stay. Stay an 8. Everything after it becomes a 0. 2,800. Okay? It's much further to get to 2,900. Okay. Let's look at one more large number. 362,593. That's a lot. Okay. I could round this number to the 100,000s place. And I'll write it out. The first thing I want to do is just think about this. Okay. If this is the 100,000s place, my first number is always the place it's already at, right? 300,000. Well, what's the next 100,000? 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 is next. Okay. Do you have a sense of where this number is going to go? It helps to have a middle. So I need half of 100,000 to know what the middle is. Half of 100 is 50. Half of 100,000 is 50,000. So the middle here is 350,000. I've got 362,000. Is that number, 362,000? Is that less than 350,000? Exactly the same? Or is it in the middle?
Teachers and students, please pardon the interruption for some afternoon announcements. We just want to remind everyone of our new dismissal times so we can be in place at the proper time. Those were sent in an email this morning. Teachers,
it's just like being at school.
If you can remember to set your trash cans outside of your door when you leave today. And
kids, set your trash cans outside your door. Okay?
Thank you.
Your parents will really appreciate it. Now, back to where we were. 360,000 is a little bit more than 350,000, right? Like, and notice I'm not even really looking at all this. The places that matter here are 360,000. I'm comparing that to 350,000. 60 is more than 50. Okay, 362,593. It's a little bit more than 350. So that means, am I closer to 400,000 or closer to 300,000? I'm closer, not a lot closer, but a little bit closer to 400,000. I'm past halfway. I'm closer to the end. Okay. Round to the nearest 100,000. First, you got to find the 100,000s place. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. The 3 is in the 100,000s place. That makes the 6 bossy. Okay? 6 is a large digit. They say up 1. They don't say stay. Like the small numbers, the big ones say up 1. So the 3 is going to go up 1 to 4. And everything that follows goes to 0. Okay? Okay. Same number. 3, 6, 2, 5, 9, 3. I'm going to round it to the nearest 100. I can do that. I can round it to any place value it has, except for the ones. Okay? So, hundreds place. Find the hundreds. Ones, tens, hundreds. The 5 is there. The number behind it would be bossy. 9. 9's big. It says up 1. So it goes up 1 to a 6. So if I was asking myself, is this number closer to 362,500 or is it closer to 362,600? That 9 tells me that it's much closer to 362,600. Okay, let's do a real life application here with rounding. I'm at the grocery store, as I often am. As you might be able to tell, I go to the grocery store a lot. Okay, I have $100. Okay, it is very easy to spend $100 at a grocery store. Very easy. In produce, vegetables, all that stuff, right? I spend $34. Okay. In the meat section, I spend $26. In dry foods, pasta, baking goods, chips, all that stuff. 18 bucks. Tortillas. Okay. In dairy, that's like your cheese, your milk, your yogurt. $11. Okay. This is what I have to spend. This is what I'm spending. Am I over? It's hard walking around the grocery store, singing the music at the grocery store as people do. It's hard to do that kind of math. So I'm gonna round instead, right? I'm gonna round them all to the tens place. Tens, 4. 4 is small. It says stay. I spent about 30 bucks in produce. 34 is closer to 30 than it is to 40. Okay, $26. Is that closer to 20 or 30? Well, the 6 says up 1. So that also rounds to 30. Okay, $18. 8 says up 1. So 18 goes up to 20. The dairy, 1 is a small digit. It says stay. If you think about it, 11 it's between 10 and 20. It's much closer to 10. Did I go over my $100? 30, 60, 70, 80, 90. I think I'm okay. I probably don't want to put a whole lot more in the cart, okay? But I should be okay. That's rounding. Real life example and examples with very large numbers.